Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Look, there's the mother and the daughter who's ignoring us. Anyway, our first stop of the day is Sunseeker Resort. We're gonna eat, meet up with a bunch of the fam, and then Mama has chosen to go to the beach, so it's gonna be a beach day.
Right there.
But first off, right there, that's where we're going?
Yep.
Cool, then I don't have to go very far. Awesome, I don't have to drive as far as I thought I was going to. Heck, I could drop Mama off and come get her later. Anyway, here we are. Sunseeker Resort. Brian and Christina are joining us. Angie's mom and dad, baby Badger. The whole crew will be here. Anyway, let's go find us some food. Alright guys, that is a wrap for Mother's Day. And you know what we did? We hung out at the Sunseeker for like 3 hours with our friends. So we had mom and dad there, we had Desi and her boyfriend there, we had Neve there, we had Brian, we had Christina, and Angie and I. And we just kind of hung out, shot the shit, and we hadn't seen each other in a while. So we basically did that, and then we opted out of not going to the beach. So we came home, the entire family, except mom and dad, and Brian and Christina, are inside playing video games. And here I am, like, trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to talk about tonight. So went and got food, Angie's favorite food, and it is this chicken Alfredo that they have down the street with garlic knots. We found it. She really likes their pasta. We have a hard time finding pasta we like. This is a local place. But anyway, I called it in. I went and picked it up. And of course, when they print out the receipt, there is a place for a tip. Now, the whole tipping thing in my mind has gone like off of the deep end. And I don't know what you guys think, and I may make some people upset about this. Sorry, just the way I feel. But I feel like the whole tipping thing has gone like beyond, right? So I see people posting all the time, if you can't afford to tip, then don't go out to eat. Okay, so somebody please explain to me when a tip should be given and when it shouldn't be given. Do you give a tip at McDonald's? Most people, that would be no. In fact, I don't think they even give you an option to put a tip on the receipt. So what's the difference between me going to the restaurant and picking up food and going to McDonald's and picking up the food? What's the fucking difference? Why should I tip them 20% and McDonald's nothing? Doesn't make any sense. So, you know, do we tip? I thought about this the other day. Everybody's complaining about self-checkout, right? They hate going to Walmart and they hate self-checkout. So would you tip the person checking you out if Walmart brought it back? Let's say Walmart opened up all of their lines and they just let the people check you out for a tip. Would you tip them to do that? Is that a tippable? All right, so your AC guy comes and he fixes something. Do you give the AC guy a tip? Your automotive mechanic or your bike mechanic, do they get a tip? I mean, they're providing a service, right? You take your car in there and then they take it and they pull it in and they fix it and they pull it out and sometimes they clean it, and that's a service, right? Where's this line at? What makes, tipping? What's the rules here? I remember back in the day, tipping was 10%. Think about this. It was 10%. Now they want 20%. It was 10% and the food was a half to a third of the cost. So what cost me $100 tonight would have probably cost $35. And they would have wanted a $3.50 tip instead of a $20 tip, which is what it is today. And then, of course, you've got your Uber Eats and all. Now that I get. As far as I'm concerned, you should tip those people really well. Here's why. Because if you are, how do I put this without making a lot of people upset? If you were too lazy to go pick something up and you want it brought to you or too busy, then you should pay for that service. I saw a TV commercial the other day, and it was a lady, and there's a husband like laying on the couch watching TV, and this lady comes in and she says to him, "We're out of diapers. Can you go to the store and get some diapers?" And he proceeds to say, "We'll just call Uber. They'll pick it up for us." And she's like, "Oh, wow, you can get diapers from Uber?" I guess you can get about anything picked up through Uber Eats or DoorDash or those type of services. Don't know. I have honestly never, ever used them. I have no idea how that works. But if you can. So I'm thinking like when my kids were young and my wife came out and said that, I would get up off the couch, I would throw some shoes on, I would go to the store, I'd get whatever I needed, I would come back and it would be done. But now we call somebody else to do that. And then we're like, well, do we tip them? You should tip them really well because they're doing something that you could very easily do yourself. So, I mean, that's just, like I said, my opinion. But help me out, guys. Where does the tipping end? Where does it begin? Who gets a tip? Who doesn't get a tip? If there's shitty service, do you still give a tip? Because I know they still expect a tip. Right? If you didn't like the food or it wasn't cooked properly, is that the server's fault? Is that the cook's fault? Whose fault? So if the server didn't give you bad food, they're still expecting a big tip, right? I mean, where does it end? And now it's not a tip for a good job. It's an expected thing. These restaurants hire and pay very little money because they expect you to make X amount of dollars in tips. Personally, I wish the entire tipping thing would go away. You know what? If you need 20%, that's what you need to pay your employees, then mark up my food 20%. Let me look at that menu and go, there is my cost. Am I willing to pay it or am I not? And then you pay the wait staff whatever you guys agree to, and you leave me out of it. Personally, I would like to see that. Just like it is at my automotive shop or my bike shop, right? I take my bike in there, they're X amount of dollars per hour, plus parts, plus whatever. I agree to that, and I pay them that, and that is the end of the deal. There is none of this, well, this person only tipped me 5%, and this person tipped me 20%, and this person just set the fucking prices, and then we'll agree to either pay it or not pay it. Stop the BS with the tips, right? The other thing is, not only that, they're also hoping for you to tip more. So here's something that the restaurants are doing. Now they're adding the credit card fees on there. So what cost them 2 to 3%, they are now passing on to you. I assume pretty soon there's going to be a line on there that says electric bill $2, water bill $1.50, floor cleaning 99 cents, and so on and so forth, right? Because now we have no more costs of doing business. They want you to just pay for it all. I always told people when I sold credit cards, put it in the price. Like if you're paying 3%, then mark all your stuff up 3% and leave it at 3. Leave it there. And then some people are going to pay by cash. Guess what? You made a little extra money. Some people are going to pay by card. But the whole penalizing people for paying by a card, I just I don't like it. But yet again, it's kind of become the standard normal. And now, like I said, tip isn't performance based. It's just expected. Like we expect a 20% tip. And it doesn't matter what kind of performance we put out. Anywho, I could go probably on for hours with this, and that would just be like a waste of my energy. But anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, put your opinions down below. I really do want to hear what you guys think about tipping. Maybe I'm way off on this. I just look at it one way, and I'm curious to see what way you guys look at it. Anyhow, that's it. The end. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.